What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with NIO, Tesla, Spine, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening with the economic calendar, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before we continue down all this information, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo with the link down below and deposit $100 in the account, you are guaranteed 5 free stocks. You deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very soon. Anyways, when it comes to the market, I just want to mention that NIO is actually down 0.72%. In my previous video, I said that NIO may pop and then drop, and that's because we have a potential head and shoulders like structure, and there is a risk of this thing selling off more, in my opinion. And as of right now, it's on a downtrend, and there is a risk of more selling. But I want to talk about some data and stuff first before I break down more details about the charts. So just to be clear, for Tuesday, that's going to be tomorrow, March 19th, we have some data coming out. We have some building permits and housing starts data coming out before the market opens. And then when the market's open, we only have like two main pieces of data, and that's just going to be some bill auctions and bond auctions at 11:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. And then besides that, the market's going to be pretty quiet until FOMC on Wednesday. So it's going to be some very important data with Jerome Powell giving his speech, and I can't wait to see he's about to announce. Now, for other things affecting us, Monday doesn't really have much data. Same thing with Tuesday and these other days. I might talk tomorrow about XBONG, but that's pretty much it. I don't see anything else too crazy for earnings. But this is your screenshot for earnings if you guys want to take a screenshot just to see. Besides this, I'm not going to talk as much about earnings. The Fury and Greed Index is currently at greed. We saw little adjustments here and there, but nothing too insane. And we're actually seeing the puts and call positioning going up just a bit, so it's very, very modest. For news involving NIO, the CEO William Lee Bin says that the second gen NIO phone is underway. This is after he made some announcements about them trying to develop and improve their positioning for their battery packs. So that's very, very important. They want to improve their battery packs, they want to improve other important sectors of the company, and that's been great news for them. Now, on top of this, UBS is giving a neutral rating so far for NIO. Financial estimates are kind of dropping, but other things are showing some improvements. Price risk ratio is kind of down because NIO is underperforming for now. And despite that, seasonality is showing that Tuesdays do tend to be better days. We tend to see NIO bounce on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. There's a 55% chance that this thing has green tomorrow, and about a 45% chance we could be red just based off statistics. Besides that, there's more seasonality around high volatility at 11 a.m. and also during the last hour of the day. Besides that, that's what I'm seeing, at least for the time being. Now, for volume, we had about 48 million. And with that being said, let's break down how things are looking. So, looking at NIO, we have a potential left shoulder here. We have a head, we have a right shoulder right here. I think that NIO could attempt to pop a little bit and then come back down. And I think that there is a risk of this selling off a little bit more, eventually coming down closer to about 5.4. But this might not be as crazy. We might not get too much volatility because volume is drying up for NIO. And simultaneously, it's going to be tomorrow, which is not as crazy. I don't think the market's going to be as crazy because we're approaching FOMC and the market's waiting for that to make bigger moves. So we'll just have to see how things go. Before NIO, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing kind of like pops a little bit and then comes back down. And we just continue to trade sideways for the time being. Might retest 5.7, come back down to 5.4, and continue to trade sideways, in my opinion. On the other hand, SPY has this gap down here to fill. If we lose 512.5, I think we're going to come down to fill this gap at 510, 509 to 510. We could even retest 508, and then we're going to be watching to see what SPY does from there. Now, one could also argue we have like a left shoulder here ahead, and then maybe a right shoulder like structure forming. If we lose support at 512, there's a risk of this head and shoulders playing out, and we could see SPY decline even more. So just be very, very careful. I'm not going to focus on the head and shoulders just yet. For now, I just see this gap to be our target. So maybe pop a little bit tomorrow, retest 513.5, and eventually come back down towards that 510 area, then bounce after that and just consolidate. So I think that's going to most likely happen tomorrow. There is a risk of some downside and this thing turning back down. Same thing with the QQQ, not the strongest performance. We actually ended up getting a sell-off as time went on. And this chart looks like it's going to slowly shift towards this gap fill at 434. So I see a risk of us coming all the way down to 434. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, may pop and drop, and I do see a little downside likely coming. Super micro is looking kind of weak. We're barely at this 973 area. It looks a bit more bearish. 952 is coming eventually 900, so it still looks bearish to me. The IWM Russell 2000 kind of churning. It's going to be testing 200.37 very soon. If we lose this, we could sink to 198, but watch for a test of 200 very, very soon. For Nvda is kind of flat. We're looking a little bit weaker now that we're below 885. Going to be watching this support at 875 to see if we bounce or not. But overall, I'm seeing some weakness on the charts. If we lose this thing could start dropping a bit more. So just be careful. We're still reacting to the big event, and so far with the event going on, it's going on currently, and the share price is down for now. I'll update you guys in case something changes, but for now, Nvidia is starting to show some weakness. For Apple, in my opinion, is also looking a little bit weaker. We grabbed liquidity up here, now we're starting to turn. If you watch support at 173, we could lose that. If we lose that, we could start to sink lower. So watch and see if that ends up being the case. But if we do end up sinking, a bigger drop could end up coming. So just be very, very careful. I think that's going to be testing 173.2. If we lose that, then we could be sinking all the way down towards 170 all over again. So watch that for Apple. That being said, a lot of stocks are showing some weakness, but Tesla has been pushing nicely. Tesla's going to pop to resistance at 175. If we break past this, I see another potential push coming to Tesla. We could get closer to 178 to 180. If we fail to break this, we're going to be retracing back down to about 170, if not 168. We also have this gap on Tesla. So will Tesla get the break or not? That depends on what news comes out for tomorrow. So wait and see. This is going to be a big test. Do we break past 175 and start pushing? Or do we reject depending on the news? Just wait and see. Anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Hopefully this video was insightful and helpful. I just want to thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day and peace out.